back inside MatrixGold. Thanks for tuning in. Hope the videos are helping your designing process. If they are, please go ahead and hit that subscription button. Tap on that notification bell for the content uploads. Leave me a like. Drop a comment down below. Take 5 seconds and just go ahead and type something in there. Good, bad, or indifferent. Doesn't matter. Even if it's a couple emojis, it'll help me out. Really appreciate it. And if you find something in the video that you can add that other people would like to know about, please drop that in there as well. Also, share the content. Really appreciate that. And if you would like to donate some coffee to the cause, down around here, there's a super thanks button. You can donate some coffee to the cause. Today, what we're going to talk about is our Halo, designing a Halo pendant, right? But before we start using the parametric commands and stuff and showing how all that works, it's probably a good idea to know how to actually draw it out without using all the builders and everything, right? So maybe there's some things that you want to change that are a little bit more difficult using the Halo. I'm not sure what that would be, but you know, maybe you want to draw it out yourself for some reason or another. So that's what we're going to talk about, how to do it without using the builder, so you can get everything exactly where you want it and how you want it. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just go to gems and we'll just grab a gem, because we'll build everything off of our gem, right? So next thing we'll do is we'll grab an offset curve and we'll just make it maybe just a little bit bigger and then drop it down, or you can even make it even smaller like that and drop it down, you know, whatever height you want off of it. So that's our first step, right? And then what we're going to do is first we're going to draw it out, and then we're going to show a different way of doing it. We're going to draw it out all individually. Let's give it some shading here. We're going to draw it out all individually, and then we can set up every thickness that we want to an exact size, right, or shape. Excuse me. So we'll go to our curves, and the first thing we'll do is just we'll grab a line. We'll do a boxy shape to start, and then we'll just kind of move on from there. So I have my end snaps activated, my mid snaps, and my quads activated. So I'm going to go to the quad of the back side of it and snap to that quad there, and then now I can determine exactly how thick or the shape that I want. So this is just a line, but if you wanted you know, an arc, you could put an arc on there to start off with, you know, to have a little dome shape for it or whatever. Or if you wanted you know, going up a little bit and then coming down at an angle or something, there's all, you could do any kind of shape that you want, right? So let's right click here and bring back that line curve, and we'll just snap to that quad, and then we'll come down here and say we want it at a 0.8. right? And now it's locked into that 0.8. So I'll just hold down shift so it's straight out, right? I can go 45 or 90, and I'll just snap it in there. I'm going to right click, bring back that line curve, and I'm going to snap right there to the end of it with my end snaps on, and I'm going to say I want to drop it down 0.4 and hit enter, and then I can hold down shift and it'll lock it into the 45 and 90 degree angle area, and we'll take that. Now you have to think, what size gemstone do I want to put out there, right? You could grab a gemstone and kind of just place it out here in the size that you want and kind of determine. That'll kind of give you a little idea. So we'll just grab another gemstone and what size you want. Say we want 2 millimeter, right? And we'll just right click and we'll select that gem, and we can just drag it over, and we can kind of drag it down and see how much area we want. So you can use a gemstone, and then we could just go out, grab a line curve, and click here, and then kind of go over to see where you want that other side, right? You could do it that way, or if you know it's going to be 2 millimeter, you need maybe a little extra meat on each side. So we'll go here and we'll just click and we'll type in 2.2. 2 millimeter or probably a 2.4 is actually better. So let's come back down here. Let's do a 2.4. So we'll have a 0.2 on each side. 2.4, hold down shift, and it locks it in there. Now we can just select this because we have our mid snaps on, go to our mirror, snap to the mid there, hold down shift, and it just goes ahead and place those over there, right? Now I'll go to my line curve again and snap here, and I'm going to say I want it 4 millimeter deep, and go down here, hold down shift, and it'll lock it in there. And I can just grab that, go to my mirror, go to my mid here, hold down shift, and now we have that. Go to the line curve, and boom, we have our profile out there, right? Now you could group all this together, join it. The thing that it broke history on was the mirroring, right? You could go to tools and go to join here, and it'll make another original, but we're not going to do that because we want to manipulate this a little bit more. So we have this out here. Now we'll go ahead, let's see. I mean, you can do the curves and everything by round it up. We can always do that later though, so that's what I'm going to do, is do it later. Now what we'll do is we'll just go to a surface, and we'll just go sweep one, select this, right click, and now we have a halo pendant out there, right? Now the nice thing about doing it this way, there's positives and negatives to everything, right? So if we go to our offset curve, we don't have that parametric history. So if I drag this up and right click, it's not going to follow that parametric history because we drew all these out. There's no association to this curve, to the offset curve. All right, so what we have to do is we have to select the actual curve itself, and now we can move it up, move it down, move it in, move it out, or whatever we want to do with it, right? To put it exactly where we want it on here, right? So there's a lot of positives here. And also by doing it this way, what we can do is we can select that curve, turn on our points on that curve, go to a little wireframe here, and it only put the points down here, it looks like. Yeah, there's one there. So if you wanted to manipulate this out a little bit more differently, let's select these, that one, and hold down shift and grab this one here. We can actually just drag that out, and it's going to update with this too, right? So I'm going to go back. Or if you want to put a different size gemstones in that channel, you can grab all this over here and bring that in or bring that out, so adjusting to different shapes and size stones or whatever you're wanting to do with it, right? So there's a lot of options we still have available to us to be able to adjust it, right? And if you wanted to make that a little curved in, just grab this little puppy here, or 1D scale, and then we can make it a little edged in, right, or edged out. So you still have a lot of control over it, just a different way, right? And also, if you take our gemstone here and we go to edit, we go to around, we can go to princess cut, we can go to oval, we can go to cushion. So you can still change it up to any of these others. More than likely, most of them, almost all of them, but maybe there's one or two that might not work for some reason or another, but you have that option still available to us, right? So that's one way of doing it, right? And like I said, you still have, we'll click on that, we still have a lot of power by just using our edit points, right, on that curve. So there's a lot of, or just selecting the curve itself and moving it in different areas, so you can get it exactly where you want it. And you can do this with for the most part with your builder too. Some things may be a little bit more detailed though. So that's one way of doing it, right? So I'll just go ahead and accept this, and we'll just go ahead and get rid of all that there. And I'll keep my curve because we still have history on it. We still have the gem and the offset curve, right? And I'll take this curve, go to my edit, and move it up just a little, just for fun. Now, there's another way we could do it, but this one's probably, I don't know, sometimes it works on some things and sometimes it doesn't work on other things. So go to Tools, go to Profile Placer, and we have a profile here, right? And we want to go ahead, first of all, and flip that around in the correct direction, right? And we can go to Profile, our profile library by clicking on our profile there, and come through here and kind of, if you already have one set up, you could just pick it. We'll come down here and just kind of do the same thing just so we can kind of show different things. And of course it puts it right there, right? But we don't want it right there. Maybe we want it down around the same height, and we want to drag it over to that corner. But we want to probably go ahead and get it the size, kind of the size we want or whatever. But it doesn't really matter because we're still going to have a lot of control over this puppy. So we have this out here, but there's no channel, right? Well, you could just use the top of this to place stones and then do your lay out your gems and do gem cutter, drop the table and all that. That's one way of doing it as well. Also, maybe I want to drop that puppy down to 4 millimeters. So let's take that up to 4. And then of course what we have to do is drop that down, right? Something like that, right? But if you want to lay out something, specifically, we can go to Editor, and we have our profile out here, right? And I'm not sure if it laid it out upside down. No, maybe it did. We'll find out real quick. So let's just go in here, and with our snaps on, we'll put it on a 0.1. So right there, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just draw a line. Take this puppy, mirror it so it's over here now, and then we'll just take, let's see, go to Split, select object to split, enter, select object to split and put enter, and select our cutting objects, bing, bing, and enter. And we can take this and delete it, right? And then we can just grab this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and take that puppy and mirror it, and go back to our line and draw it over to there, right? And we want to take it all, and we want to join it together, and then just click there, and now we have it out here, right? So that's another, and we still have total control on it. So we're making that channel larger, smaller, and our rails and everything. Let's see. So we'll do something like this, and we'll bump it over so it's kind of right there at our edge, right? And we'll accept it. Okay, now we'll just go to that surface, go to surface 1, go from here to here to here, and we have all that layout, and we'll accept it, right? And now we have this curve here that we can manipulate, right? Moving it up, it's going to lock it with that rail, or we can move it out, and it's going to lock it with that rail. So it gives us those options there, right? And you can still draw out your stones and stuff like that one. But point editing on this one, you will not be able to do because it will break history. So if we go ahead and say we select these two and kind of want to drag them in, you can see now we broke history. So that if we go back and try to move this here, it might work. Edit, move it up. Yeah, it's not moving it, so we broke the history with it, right? So that's one of the downfalls of doing it with the profile. Another downfall, it doesn't seem to work with all stones. Go to oval. It seems to work okay with most of them, but there are some, I believe. Let's pair. Yeah, maybe it'll work with all of them. Yeah, it's working with a good amount of them. Let's see, octagon. Yeah, it's still working okay, except we don't have as much control over manipulation of it, right? But you could, again, always just go back in here, grab that curve, go back to edit, and we can select the whole thing. Well, it's right now we're on mirrors, so if we take this and move it in or something, it's going to adjust those things. Or we could take all these and move them out, right? And everything's going to update on here. So you have to do it inside your profile or profile editor, right? And we can bring those in so that it changes up that. I mean, there's still a lot you can do with it. It's just a different way of doing it. Which way do you like better, right? I don't think any what's wrong. And we'll talk about the gem, the builder here in a little bit or next video or so, to be able to give more detail. Oh, it's on settings, yeah. The Halo builder and how to do it all in there as well. All right, so let's just close that out. Let's take it back to where we want it, right? So, the nice thing about doing it something like this way is now when we go to put the head on there, we have a little bit more manipulation ability with this here. It seems to be a lot easier to me, but it does take a little bit more time to set it up, right? So we'll go over here to our rail count and we'll just do 1, and we'll drag this one up and kind of manipulate it. And if you need to know any more about all these commands with each individual level of the head builder, we have previous videos in this series that talk about all those, so go back and check those out. So right now I just have one rail out there. Let's go to that rail profile right here. I'm going to change that up just a little, something like this here. And we'll just go ahead and take that, I guess. Maybe I want to make it a little thicker, so I'll go to the rail itself, level 4, and we'll just bump that up just a little bit, something like that, right? So it's a little bit above our inside base there, and then we'll take it, right? But the nice thing about this is, finding that curve here, our offset curve, we can go into our editor, and now we can manipulate it wherever we want that head, those prongs to go into that head, right? So we, maybe want it almost right up to the edge right there, so you can get a nice tight look going around, right? I don't know. I mean, it's just a different way of doing it, right? So let's just go ahead and say this is cool with us. And we have a knot right here, it looks like. So if I take this and I explode it, how do I know it's a knot? Because see that real thick line versus these other lines? That's giving me a knot. So what's that? I'm going to back out of that, make sure they're all joined together. Yeah, so we got a closed poly surface. You need to recognize where your knots are at, and this next step will tell you kind of why you need to recognize it. So we could take this. We have the profile set up. We have all this set up. We could take all this and we could go to our collections and go to the collections, and in our pendants, right? So I have a bunch of different ones here, but in my pendants, you can go ahead and we can go ahead and import this and do it as name it as a Halo setup, so that we know we can start manipulation with just that. So we saved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 or 6 steps, right? Just by adding that. So we can bring this back at any time and change up things, right? We could go to our profile, if I can select it, go to our profile editor, go to select a profile and change our profile, right? And then start doing your manipulation from that profile, right? So you have a lot of that looks pretty cool though. Add more angle with, yeah. Anyway, sorry. There's a lot of ways to, reasons to save it and use your profile editor. Huh. Okay, sorry, I'm getting lost. But anyway, I'll just go ahead and back out of it. We'll go back to the original. You know, the other thing is now we need to go ahead and start putting gemstones in here. So let's grab a curve, and let's see, what curve do I want? Oh, extract ISO curve. That's what I want. This surface here, go ahead and make it disappear. Bingo. Right click, right? Go ahead and select that. Click on our curve, go to gems on a curve. First thing we want to do is our target right here. And then we have it set at 0 and we want it going all the way around, of course. So we'll just go and click on our end position and just put 1 and enter. So they're all there, right? Now we can make those prongs or those stones as large as we want to fit our channel there. Yeah, we'll do something like this. We're pretty much fills it all up, not into our channel. We don't want to channel set them. So we do have a little bit of space there. We'll just go ahead and click on it, and we'll click our stones, go to settings, and put prongs on there, right? And the first thing we're going to do is go and drag them up. We want enough prong to be able to set some stone. You had the jeweler be able to cut nice and easily, and of course those prongs we probably want a little bit, not taper. I did that wrong. That's okay. Taper's not too bad for that look, but I'm going to take that taper. Nudge, no, don't. Prong diameter. That's what I want. Where's my taper? There it is. Taper. Bring that back to pretty close to 0. Oh, now I'm negative. Definitely don't do negative. That's fine. And then, of course, I want to bump those prongs out a little, right? So that we have a little bit more meat, and then I can go ahead and nudge them in because we got enough room there. No problems, right? And I got a little space between my rails so that I don't have to worry about them going into the rails, right? And actually, I'll make that just a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Well, you can play around with that. It doesn't really matter. I mean, totally up to you how you want the prongs layout. And then we'll just go ahead and click on that, right? So we have a nice little halo out here. One thing we probably want to go ahead and get taken care of is the bell, right? So we'll just go to our top view here for a few, and we'll just drag that bell out. And the first thing I'm going to do is get my bell in height. I'm going to say I want it around a 4mm bell. Let's make it a 4.5. How's that? Compromise. All right, and I'm going to drag that out a little bit because we don't need it touching at the moment. And the next thing I want to do is we have 3 little commands. We'll go into the bell and talk about all the commands and everything. That's pretty basic for the most part. Go to profiles here, and we'll just kind of bump that out to maybe around 3.5, and we'll make it a little thicker to 3.8, and down here we definitely want to open that one up too. We'll go to 1.3, and we'll do the same thing at 1.8 just to give it some thickness there. And then we'll go to our side view here, and we can see that maybe we need a little bit open. So internal height, right? We're on level, or the rail. Internal height, we're going to bump it up. Say we want at least a 2.5mm chain going through there, right? So this will be kind of our bell. We can go ahead and change up our, that's our rail. Let's go to profile, sorry. And we'll change this one here. And there's a ton in there to choose from, and change it to the exact same one, so we kind of keep consistency here, but it's totally up to you. And next thing we need to do is go to our jump ring, right? And we'll kind of make that's the internal diameter. We need to make sure it's not touching our prong, or our bail, sorry. And our diameter, we'll take that out to 0.8 as well. So now that we have our bell and our jump ring out there, I'll go ahead and click, and then we'll go ahead, select it all, go into our editor, and then we'll just kind of bump it down a little bit, and we'll drag it into our item, right? Something like that, right? So there's how it's going to be attached, right? All right. So now what I'm going to do is, this is kind of blasé, right? So we'll just do it real simple. This will be one of the things that we're going to talk about going forward on how to do different kinds of cutouts and designs around a certain item and how to make things a little bit nicer and easier, right? Or softer looking, I guess. It's kind of boxy and not very soft looking, kind of looks rigid, right? So what we're going to do is we'll go to our, let's see, we probably should go to our dupe edge. So we'll go to curves, which is way down here, dupe edge, right? We have it right there. And I think there's a parametric one, a dupe edge right here. So we'll grab the parametric one, edge to dupe, right there. And we'll take that, right? Now we'll take, do I have two of them? No, okay. So let's grab that and we'll go to our offset curve, and we'll take this to a 0. So it's at a 0, but we'll take it up 0.8. So now we know that that's a 0.8. We're going to go back to this curve. I don't know if it'll let me do it again. Let's see. Offset curve, select curve, this one. Oh, I did. Okay. Except this time we're going to go and drag that into a 0, and then we'll just go ahead and drag it to a negative 0.8. So it's right there, right? So we know that it's going to be a 0.8 thickness and a 0.8 depth wise there, right? And then we'll just go ahead and accept that, right? Next thing I'll do is go back to a dupe edge. And no, we'll do an extract ISO curve from here, right? And I'll turn it to this, and we'll go to see the front. So we want to do a cutout here. So we need to put these, that's all the way up here. So we can go something like that and just go ahead, and that'll be our thickness, right? Right here will be our thickness, so we'll just take that, right? Okay, so it's kind of heavy, wasteful, Japanese, montanai. So what we can do, first of all, is we can select this curve and hold down our gumball and shift, right? So it goes both directions. But before I do that, let me back out of that. Let's go to all viewports and turn it to our wireframe, right? And I'll select on this, and we'll go and we'll drag that up to where it's maybe just right on or just above. Just above is probably a little bit better. That curve there, and then right click, right? So we have this here. We'll change that to a cutter, right? And we'll give it some shading, take a look at it, and we'll just go ahead and do this cut. So we'll go to solids, Boolean difference, right click, and now we have that cutout, right? With a 1.8 thickness, and now we're going to do this cutout. But before we do this cutout, we want this part to be solid, right? Because we want that bell to attach with no issues, right? So what we're going to do is, well, before we do, we'll do it a simple way here, right? Our first cutout and then we'll go back and redo it. So we have guidelines, let's just say, for this. All right, so let's go and we'll just grab a box, right? And now I'm going to turn on my near, and I want it to kind of put a box out here. Not sure how big, maybe 4 millimeters. So I'm just going to guess for the most part. So I'm going to, my near snaps on. I'm going to select here, go over to this side, and it is, let's see, I'll just come down here and type 4, enter. So it's locked in, right? And then go in, and then right here, up here to the near. Let's turn off all this. No, or only our near. Right there, right? And there is our curve right there. But of course, it's not on our surface, right? If I select that curve, it's going straight across, half in and half out, right? So we don't really need it on our surface because we're going to use this as a cutter, right? So we'll select it, and we'll just click here and then drag in about halfway and then stop, right? So right there. Okay. And we're just going to make it a little softer, a little more less weight, get rid of some weight, keep it in our customer's price point, right? So what we'll do now is we'll select this, go to transform, go to polar array, and we'll change and we'll talk about all this and all these in another video, but for this video we'll go to place axis in our Z, so it goes around something like this. And now object count, we can change it. We want an odd number because we want that piece here being solid, right? And we have it cut right here at the bottom, so an odd number will keep this piece open. So you can go in here and change it however many you want. We'll just change it to 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure that'll give me a lot of room there, but it's parametric, right? So what we can do is go ahead and accept it. Let's check it out. So we'll go to change those cutters to cutters, and then you don't have to, but it's a good idea to keep keeping everything organized by using the layers that they have specified, gems in this layers, and then stones, but it's totally up to you, really. So we'll go to solids, we'll do this boolean just to see what kind of distances we have. This will be our cutting, the surface to be cutted. Right click, these will be our cutters, right click, and we have it out there, and we can right click. Now, you know, we probably should check this thickness because we don't want it too thin, right? So we'll go to dimensions, we would turn back on our ends, and we'll just snap right there and snap over here, and it is a 0.6. Maybe that's a little too thin for my liking, so what we can do is go back to that polar array, edit, and we can take it down to a 7, right? And we'll go ahead and click, and now you can go back to your measurement, and right there at that point, right there at this point, and it's a 2 point. Yeah, that's much better, right? And we have a nice lightweight pendant. Now we can do the prong cutters and everything out of there. Might be a little bit. Let's check that thickness out. Let's go in here. Okay, easiest way to do it would be to dupe this edge here. That way we can snap to it, right? So we can go to here and quad, turn on our quad. Where's our quad at there? There's our quad there. There's our quad there, 0.7. And that's okay, I guess. If you don't like it though, you can always go back to that cutter, right? Because that's an object as well. You go to that cutter and drag that cutter down a little. Oh, I dragged it. Yeah, it didn't do that cut. Let's go back here real quick. Okay. Should be able to. It should be Boolean union. That's that Boolean. Oh, okay. Our original surface, right? We need our original surface. So what we can do is go back and delete this one if we don't like it. Don't have to. We can go to this one here and we can edit, right? So now we're back to our original. We go to this curve, this extract ISO curve here. Where's my surface? I think I did something wrong there. Okay, there's that. Let's hide this for a second, and let's bring back this one, which should be, yeah, it's on that layer. Okay, so Boolean, let's go over here and hit show. There we go. All right, so we should be able to select this ISO curve. It didn't pop up over there. There it is. All right, edit, and now we can maybe make this just a little bit smaller, right? And we can edit that, and then we can take this curve here where our Boolean is, right? And we can, first what we'll need to do is, well, Easiest way to do it would be just go to transform, go to our scale 1D, and go from here to here. And let's turn off these snaps here because it's snapping everything, and just kind of get it pretty close in here. Bingo. Right? And that should, let's hide all this. Okay. All right. And you can see where those cuts are. And we'll just go ahead and let's see. Let's hide it. Let's hide all this for a second here. Okay. And take this. There we go. Hide that. The original, I mean the one. And now we have the cutouts with a little bit thicker top, right? So, I mean, it just takes a little bit of finagling, but, you know, to make sure that everything's okay. And let's just do that measurement one more time. Dimensions. Turn on our snaps. Make sure our quad snaps on here. Now we're at a 1.0, which I feel much more comfortable with, right? And now what we can do is we can do a surface boolean. We're going to take these and boolean with this and hit enter, right? And then hit enter. And I did some enter. Back. Let's just. Okay, so this probably hid here. Where did, oh, okay. Show. There we go. And let's hide all this back again. And now these are two different pieces. We'll just ungroup those very quickly. We'll take this and hide it. We'll go ahead over here to our super select, select all curves, and we'll just hide those for a second too, because it'd be a lot easier. Let's go ahead and hide our stones too. Unlock those. And this way what we can do is go in here and grab all those bottom parts, delete them, go ahead, select all our green, group them back together again, right? So it's easier, and then bring back our items and surfaces and stones and everything, right? And that's our original one, so we'll take that one and put it down in here, right? So there we go. And you can see now we have a nice little piece here for our bell to attach to. And then we can put on our bell itself, right? So there we go. And there was a question as far as now what we'll need to do here. Before we do all that, and before we get going on all this other stuff, it's still a little boxy, right? And we want to smooth it up a little bit. So the first thing I want to check is how thick is that? It's pretty good thickness. So I'm going to go ahead and select all our curves, and we'll just hide those for right now. And then I'm going to select all our purple and hide that. Oh, hide that. I don't know. Sorry. Hide that. And we'll go ahead and hide our stones. And for right now, we'll take these and put those back on purple too. All right. So we have this. It's still looking a little boxy. I want to make it a little softer looking, right? So before you go any further, you might want to leave those on and go ahead and select it and do a full save, just in case you want to go back and change up anything later. But we're going to break history now at this point, right? Totally break history for the most part. And we're going to go to a fillet, right? We're going to go to fillet, and we're going to go to blend, right? And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that my preview is set to yes. And then I'm going to go and say, I want this one, this one. I don't really mind so much this one being straight across. That's okay. But if you want it blended, you could do that. We'll go to this one, this one. Inside one, I'm not really worried about. And then I'll just start selecting the other ones that I want. I want this one a little rounded, this one a little rounded. And then, of course, I'm going to go through and do these, right? And I think I might even just go ahead and select these in here too. Why not? So what I'll do, it's probably easier if I just go ahead and hold down Shift and select all that and go back and deselect the ones that are holding down Alt. I don't want to do the inside, I don't want to have to mess around with the inside. I don't think it really matters on the inside, so I'm just going to go through here and deselect all these inside curves. This is the part that's a little tedious, but it's really no big deal for the most part. I'm just selecting all these inside cutout areas that I don't want to give a little fillet to. And I think this is the last one. I didn't get a grab. There we go. Okay, yeah. Now it's set at a 0.1, and I know a 0.1 is going to, or 1 millimeter is going to probably blow, because I don't think there's a 1 millimeter space here between that. And I know these are, that's a 0.8 supposedly, the bottom here, and a 0.8 across here. So I'm going to go ahead and then right click to accept it. And of course it's going to blow, which it does, right? No big deal. I'm just going to go down here to set all, click on there, and then I'm going to say I wanted at a, maybe, let's try a 0.3 and hit enter, and then wait for that. And there, it looks like it came out okay, and we have all those areas filleted, and I'll just go ahead and right click to accept all those fillets. Now you can see we have a much softer look, right? Of course, we did break history, if you noticed. You might want to check everything out just to make sure. Like right there, we got a little opening there. So maybe we want to back out of that. Go back to our fillet blend. Make sure it's on yes. Go ahead and right click to accept it, to let it do its thing. Then come down here, set all. Maybe you want to go drop it down to 0.2. Hit enter. Right, and it still looks like we got a little opening, but that's no big deal really. We could just go ahead and take that, because we can fix that. Now we can see we have an open poly surface. I'm doing this on purpose somewhat. Some of it's not intentional, but some of it is. Analyze, right? Edit meshes, show edges, right? And I have my tool over here, show naked edges, right? So it's saying that we have 8 total naked edges there. The rest of them came out good. This one, these right here did not. Major bummer. So there's a couple ways we could fix this, but since it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 8. 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 there. Well, it's probably just as easy to do it this way. So normally what I would do is I go to my edit tools and go to merge edges, or join 2 naked edges, right? But this looks like it might be a little easier to do it a little different way. So I'm just going to go ahead and close out my edge analyzing tool there. So it'll make those disappear. Go to my curves and duplicate edge. So 1, 2, that was 1, right? And I'll join those 2 together after I go ahead and select these up here. So I'll right click and I'll change that to yellow layer, and then go to join, and it broke history, no big deal. So I have that curve there, and I have this curve here, right? And then I'll do my other curves. 1, 2, 1, 2, and right click, right? Okay, now what I can do is I can go to my surface and my old non-parametric sweep 2, right? Because we have an extra option here. So we can go this curve here. This curve here is our rails. It's just select sweep shapes, this one here, and then point with our point snap on. It'd probably be good to have our point snap on, or intersection even. So, or end, we can snap right there, and there's our little piece, right? And we'll just go ahead and hit OK, right? And then we'll do the same thing down here. We'll go to our sweep 2 non-parametric, select this one for a rail, this one for a rail, this one for a profile, and then point right there and hit OK. And then we'll just take this, take that, and go back to our join and broke history, which we already broke, so it doesn't really matter. And we have a closed poly surface, and we're good to go. right? Last thing would be is, of course, someone mentioned about gem cutters, gem bullions, right? And I'm not sure exactly if this is what you're talking about, gem cutters, where you want to cut out something on your gem. Now, if you're wanting to bullion a gem, a gem is a mesh, or it's made up of uh, yeah, mesh, I believe. So you'll need to use mesh tools if you're going to cut a gem. Say you want to put a rivet through a gem or something, through like an onyx or something. You'll probably want to, or you can convert it to a NURBS, and then do a cut on a normal bullion on it. But if that makes sense. Maybe that's an idea for another video. If you like that idea, throw that in the comments down below. Let me see that. Whatever. So let's just go back and do a gem cutter, right? So a gem cutter will cut your holes and everything for your stones, right? So there's our gem cutters. I'm just going to go ahead and keep them at the default. We'll talk about gem cutters and all this fun stuff over here and over here at another time, but we're just going to put gem cutters because it seems to lay it out pretty well for this one. And I'm not going to be cutting my prongs. I'm just going to be cutting the green surface, not the prongs. So I'm going to make this a model for final printing, not rendering, right? So I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Now we'll go to our solids, go to our Boolean difference, this one, and boom, hide the gems. There's our cuts, right? Let's check that. I wonder how thick that is. Let's go to here. Let's go to the front. It doesn't look real thick there. Let's see what it is. So dimensions. 1.4. That ain't no 1.4. Not even close. Hold down shift. It's not a one. Let's turn off all this. Disable snaps here. So I'm holding it down shift. 0.2. Yeah, that's a little thin there. So I would make that boolean for the hollow side just a little bit lower. I'd want that boolean to be at least a 0.4, 0.5. So there's our boolean here, right? So if I take that and bump it down a little, broke history. I don't know that it made it. Let's go ahead and hide all that stuff. Yeah, it didn't drop it down any, it doesn't look like. So let's go. Oh, because we broke history on it. That's right. But future reference, I should have been more cautious, and this is a good way to explain it, I guess. With my snaps off, I'm able to, well, turn on your snaps to start with. Not ortho, snaps. Snap to that edge there and then turn them off so you're not getting a misinformation because it's snapping it off to the side. If I have my snaps on, you can see that right from this view, if I just hold down, it's wanting to snap to another edge way over here, which is giving you a false reading. So turn off your snaps and just kind of drag it down, holding down shift, so you know it's straight. Oh, I have ortho on, that's why. Hold down shift, and then kind of put it over. You can see it's a 0.216. You probably want it at least I would say a 0.4. So down around, where's our cut? Yeah, see our cut's still way down there. So, I mean, you could drop it much further. You could drop it down to a 0.5 and it would be much, much better. So that I would just keep in mind. I kind of dropped the ball on that, so definitely be aware of it. Maybe that's a little too thin, but there you go. And then all you have to do at this point, once you make that a little thicker, of course, is Boolean union, this enter, and then accept that. It's going to place all that stuff on this layer here again, and then Boolean union. Again, you could do it all at once. I just like to do it separately just to make sure it's all coming out okay. Close surface and Boolean union. I don't want that. So I'm just going to Boolean Union sub-select, enter, enter, and there you go. And put our gems back out there, give it some shading, and there you go. And it's a much softer look now, right? I think that looks much better. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of this. And now what we'll do, you know, we kind of showed how to do all the profiles and how to lay them out where you can manipulate them a little bit differently. Now what we'll do in the next video, hopefully if I remember, is we'll go in and we'll do play around with the builder here. Right. So hopefully this kind of gives you a lot of little small things that you can use in your designing process, and even knowing when you made a mistake to make sure you find it before you go to the final, you know, rendering or the final production. Right. So hopefully it helps. And if it does, please drop me a like and a comment. And thanks for watching. Good designing.